everybody. Good morning. Welcome to a Tuesday edition of Morning Scone, presented by Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic, Hudco Roofing, hudcoroofing.com. Do business with someone you know. Hudco Roofing, hudcoroofing.com. I hope everybody's week is off to a great start. Hope you had a great Monday. Got to meet with Brian Kelly on Monday for his weekly press conference. And boy, he did talk a lot about. Let me rephrase. He was asked a lot about the inability in the passing game. So I thought he was actually asked about three different ways the same question in some variety, and his general sort of recurring theme was we can't beat top 10 teams throwing for 85 yards. He knows it's got to change. He also specifically talked about them getting Jaden Daniels to be more aggressive. And I think the way he said it specifically was, there's a difference between being aggressive and reckless. And sometimes when you're aggressive, you're going to throw interceptions. It's like, I don't want to throw interceptions, but sometimes it's going to happen when you're aggressive. And sometimes you got to put a ball into a tight window and trust your guys to go make a play. And I think that's really, it's going to be the focus for them moving forward, and has to be offensively. If you listen to the press conference, I did ask about Kayshawn, as I told you all I would, and was the first question. If you want to go back and watch the press conference or listen to it. But I think what probably should be maybe most encouraging if you're an LSU fan is the part of the answer where Brian Kelly flatly said, look, Kayshawn is doing everything right. So anyone who's worrying about him being checked out, his attitude, clearly they don't see that. And that falls in line with everything I've been told from teammates and staff members and everything. So I think he said something along the lines of, when you put on the tape, you see he's running full speed, he's running great routes, and there's times he's open and the ball doesn't come to him. That's not his fault. And yeah, he wants to catch the ball more. And Kelly said, and I want to get him the ball more. So it's on us as coaches to make sure that happens, and Jaden to be more aggressive throwing the ball. So anyway, so other notes from the press conference, trying to think of note. Garrett Dellinger will be back this week. Daniel's knee is fine. Kelly even said 100%. And might be about it. All right, anything else y'all got fire away? And then, of course, the other big news, unfortunately, is the Broncos signed Latavius Murray off the Saints practice squad, which is just maddening. The fact that the Saints could let that happen. When you got a guy who looked so good on Sunday and you're dealing with an injured Alvin Kamara, I guess it kind of comes down to, would you rather Mark Ingram or Latavius Murray? If you're assuming Kamara's coming back. I guess they picked. All right, let's say some good mornings. Truax, what's up, man? Quentin Breakbill, David Coslin, Ryan Amanda Gidry, Brian Wynn, Bubba Smith. Good morning. Let's see, I love where Brian Kelly is talking about what needs to be done. I think they will improve. Hope for a good game. The thing is, he was even asked, one thing that I really liked in the press conference, he was asked, and I actually asked a similar question a week ago, but I think Jacques maybe asked yesterday, where he said, through 5 games, are you where you thought you'd be or hoped you'd be? And Brian Kelly said, I'm not looking at it, I never looked at it so much through the lens of wins and losses, which is weird because it's such a performance-based business, and wins and losses are what matters. But what he's telling you is he knew coming here that this year was going to be less about the wins and losses and more about building the culture. And if the wins and losses came along the way, great. And they have so far. You know, you're 4-1. But more, I think more importantly is in the 3 games against Power 5 teams, you found yourself down and you've rallied back. The team hasn't quit, which shows buy-in, which I think is really good. Josh Smith, they can fix the passing game by waiting for Jaden to leave. Too many screenshots of him looking at wide receivers, not throwing the ball. He's a ball hog only at LSU to better his chances of being drafted. You know, you see Josh, and then you're like, Walker tried to talk to him and then walked off. That's one of the stupidest comments ever. Like, you're trying to interpret what these two dudes on a side, like you see a little snippet of a sideline conversation, you're trying to interpret what's going on there. When you can't hear, you don't know the context of anything, and you're trying to interpret something to fit your narrative. And that's just reckless and stupid. I'm not saying you're stupid, I'm saying that's a stupid comment. And if there were a better option, the better option would be playing. And that's what you don't understand, or you fail to acknowledge, because you're so hell-bent on Nuss Bus or whatever it is. And you can't acknowledge at the time that you've actually gotten to see Garrett Nussmeier play, he's objectively been bad. But whatever, man. That's what fans do. Tyler Alexander, good morning. Saw Brian Kelly's answer yesterday. I asked this yesterday morning. You ran out of time. Why do you think we are running jet sweeps, wide receiver screens? They are. I mean, they ran a jet sweep with Kayshawn on Saturday, where, I mean, he came across the formation, they shoveled it to him, and he went around left end and got a first down. But that was the play where Josh Williams blocked below the base, the waist, and they called it back. They are running screens. They threw a wheel route to John Emery. They went for 39 yards, got, out of bounds at the 1 yard line, which got LSU its second touchdown, the one right before half. So they are doing that. I mean, think about the Southern game, where the way they got Kayshawn involved. They did the shovel pass on the sweep motion. They handed it to him on a jet sweep. And they ran the little out route where, first play of the game, rolling right, Kayshawn into the flat, dumped in the ball, they turned upfield. They are running those. Matt, the gauntlet of 5 upcoming SEC games, do you think 2 and 3 is a reasonable expectation? 5 upcoming, so are you including last week? Or are you saying Tennessee, Florida, Ole Miss, Bama? So you're saying, but you're including Auburn already having, because then you play UAB, and then you're at Arkansas at A&M. So you include Auburn, is 2 and 3 possible? Yeah, then, because I think you're going to lose to Bama, but then can you get one of the next 3? I think so. I hope you can get 2, quite honestly. I hope. I don't think, man. Yeah, I said I'd like to see them split October. I'd like to see them go 2 and 2 in October. We've already got 1. So can you beat Tennessee or Ole Miss at home, or can you win at Florida? If you can get one of your next 3, you split the month of October. Then you're 3 and 2 in conference play. You're probably going to lose to Bama, which makes you fall 3 and 3. And then you'll beat UAB. And then the question is, can you split Arkansas and Ole Miss? If you do, you go 4 and 4 in the conference. You go 4 and 4 in the conference. That puts you at 7 and 5. That's a pretty good first year, man, considering. YouTube, smash that like button if you would. Joey Vincent, Trivia Carter, Jared Esprit, good morning. Tim Gotro, Larry Garner, Wendell Norman, Tommy Blanco, Jesse Brown, morning, Matt. Why did the Saints not sign Murray to the active roster with Denver signing, and where does that leave the Saints? Yeah, my only guess, Jesse, is with Kamara unavailable, they obviously activated Latavius Murray from the practice squad. And so they're assuming Kamara will be back this week. So it would be Kamara and Ingram. They weren't going to have Murray activated. And the third running back, if they keep one, is typically someone like Dwayne Washington, who's primarily a special teams player. and as your reserve running back. So if Latavius Murray isn't going to play special teams, then Dwayne Washington becomes more valuable in that space. So the question you'd have to ask, one, is Kamara going to be available? And if the answer is yes, then you're going to take Kamara obviously over Murray. And so then the next question would be, would you rather Murray or Mark Ingram? And they made their decision clearly. Jonathan Martin, Marcus Washington, the GOAT, with the addition of Texas and OU, plus the new TV contract coming soon, will we still see top 25 matchups kick off at 11 a.m.? Probably. I mean, look, Fox is going to, I mean, it's not a top 25 matchup, but Texas and Oklahoma is at 11 a.m. this week. If you're filling 3 TV windows throughout the day, the 11 a.m., the 2:30, and the night window, and you're going to have games in every window. And so there's probably going to be situations like that. I mean, look at Ole Miss and Kentucky last week. I mean, that was a top 15 matchup. That was number 7 against number 14. But ESPN, obviously, I put it to you this way. And I think they would work with the league and the schools for preferred windows. But, we hate that 11 a.m. window. But you got to think in terms of TV. If you're on ESPN immediately following College Game Day, every college football fan that's watching TV is watching to see Corso's headgear pick. And when you go from that right into a kickoff on ESPN, that ESPN 11 a.m. game is pretty prime real estate because of what your lead-in is. So it's not fun for us because we don't like morning games. We don't want to play at 11 a.m. We don't want to get up at, 5 or 6 to get out to the stadium, to park, and maybe tailgate a little bit and then get into the stadium and be roaring and ready to go at 11 a.m. That's not what we do. But from a TV standpoint, that is prime real estate. Donovan Peterson, what did Coach say about T-Bob yesterday? So at the end of the press conference, I had the last question. And I asked Brian Kelly about Garrett Dellinger's hand, because someone here had asked the question, which hand he broke. Because remember, Dellinger's your backup center. So if he had broken his right hand, then he can't snap the ball. So I asked him, which hand he broke. And so Kelly does this. He's like, his left hand. And I was like, okay, so is he still your backup center? He said, yes. I said, so who else is repping at that position? He said, Fitzgerald West. He said he was not available last week because Fitzgerald West was in the concussion protocol. So he basically said, and after that, we're down to you. And he looked at me. And I said, you don't want that. I said, maybe T-Bob could do it. And that's whenever he's like, oh, T-Bob could? And I think maybe Cowell said, worked out last time against Tennessee, and Kelly didn't know about 2010. He didn't know how that game ended and all. So basically, at the end of the press conference, we told him about 2010 and T-Bob snapping the ball and everything. That's what happened if you're listening to the end of the press conference. Tommy Blanco, do you think we'll see Zion get a good amount of minutes tonight? Nope. I mean, Tom, you'd have to define what's a good amount of minutes, right? The Pels are in Chicago, right? Chicago for preseason game night. Jason H., Cliff Nelson, good morning. Word of advice, if Vegas is giving odds that seem too good to be true, they are. Listen to the Outfather. I didn't. Took Tams plus 1.5. Oh, the Rams. No more college football. Yeah, Otter hit again last night with the Niners. I played it. I put a heavy bet on the Niners last night, as a matter of fact. Jimmy has been on, so that's a 3-2 weekend for him in the NFL. Boy, he has just churned out winners. I think he's. Wait, I don't want to give out the wrong number. Maybe 14-6, something like that, on his 5 packs on Sundays. That's not even including Thursday Night Football. And I mean, he's been on fire, y'all. He has been on fire with NFL. Anyway. Shout out to Brock, y'all. As always, Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic, Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. You need an orthopedist, go to Brock. Need a roof, call Hudco. Oh, by the way. Friday. If you are going to be in BR Friday, 11 to 2 at Bowie Outfitters, we're going to have the Hudco Hometown Heroes tailgate party. So, Hot Rod, Rodney Beloso, who works with us at Hudco, he's going to cook a giant pot of gumbo. They're going to have great deals at Bowie. We'll have the Hudco tents up and all that sort of stuff. And someone's going to win a $250 Bowie gift card, and someone's going to win this autographed Patrick Queen football. So pretty cool. You got to come out, and the way you can enter, and basically anyone that signs up to let us do a roof inspection will be entered. So no purchase necessary or anything to enter. Just got to sign up to let us do a roof inspection, and you'll be entered for the gift card and the football. So there'll be two winners. One person will win the gift card. One person will win the football. But we'll have free gumbo. Probably have some cold beer there as well. So Friday, 11 to 2 at Bowie on Perkins, the Hudco Hometown Heroes tailgate. Y'all come hang out with us. I'll be there for as long as I can. Terrio will be there. Hope to see a bunch of y'all there. Edward O, good morning. Sorry if you already talked about this. What do you think about Dan Brock's play calling? Seems pretty poor. You see, here's the hard part about that, man. Look at what we're referencing, right? Look what Brian Kelly referenced yesterday, where they want Jaden to be more aggressive. If Dan Brock calls a play and receivers are open and Daniels chooses not to throw it, is that a bad play call? Or is it bad execution? Sometimes it's both. Or could be either. So, I understand, and I think maybe Tyler asked, it was Tyler who asked earlier, about the jets and the sweeps and the screens and all that stuff. Could you do more of that specifically with Kayshawn? Yes. But everyone is saying they want to see LSU stretch the field. So if you want to see LSU stretch the field, well, that's not with sweeps and screens and stuff close to the line. So it's a little bit of a catch-22, man. I think you look in totality and see 85 yards passing and you look to place the blame. It's play calling's bad or the quarterback's inaccurate or whatever. And sometimes it's a combination of a lot of things. Look at some of the drops. How 3rd and 10 on the first series of the game, Mason Taylor had to drop. LSU would have moved the chains. Jaden threw a ball on a 3rd down a little behind Malik Neighbors. It was behind him, but Malik got both hands on it. Catch the ball. Nussmeier threw one to Kayshawn that he dropped, and threw one to Brian Thomas that he dropped. And Brian Thomas is as sure-handed a receiver as you have. You know what I mean? So that's 4 right there, where passing yardage looks a little better. Move the sticks. Who knows how those drives end up? You know what I mean? So sometimes it's both. Sometimes it's quarterback not being as aggressive, receivers getting their hands on balls and not bringing them in, play call. It could be any of them. Guy Brooks, good morning, Scone. Enjoy all of your shows. Great info for a Louisiana man living in North Carolina. All right, Guy, appreciate that. Hope y'all did okay with the storm too, man. Carter Harris, good morning. Do you think we can trap Tennessee in Tiger Stadium and pull off the victory Saturday? Yeah, look, it's a 3-point line, isn't it? What's the line? Maybe 4. I think, look, Tennessee has the worst pass defense in the SEC. They allow over 300 pass yards a game. So if ever you needed a get-right spot for your passing game, Tennessee's defense would kind of be a good, objective or a good elixir. It's Tennessee 2.5. So, yeah, Tennessee slings it around. They got a really good offense. There's no question, but their defense is terrible. So the question is, can LSU's defense get stops? You're not going to shut them out, but can LSU's defense get, if in a normal game you get 12, I've said this before, but typically in a game, an offense will get 12 possessions. Usually it's with 6.5. That's pretty much average. Can you get off the field 6 times? And if they score on 6 possessions, can you limit them to 3 touchdowns, 3 field goals? If you do that, that's 30. If they score 30, can you score 31 against that defense? I mean, that's the kind of game you have to kind of win. Can LSU do that? Sure, they got plenty of athletes to do that, but they got to play really well. You can't commit 10 penalties. You can't, give them field position but not covering kicks. You can't turn the ball over. Because if you start giving them short fields or extra possessions, now you just dig that hole deeper and deeper. Aaron Abear, Lawrence Burley, Robbie White. Good morning. I would assume the Saints let Murray sign because they know Kamara's close. I would think so, Robbie. Michael Richard, good morning, Matt. I hope you and family have a blessed day. Thanks, Mike. Same to you. Brian Broom, Matthew Gardner, Richard Dukin. Morning. Is Dellinger going to be back at guard? Yes. He is going to be back at guard. And, whoa. Hey, all right, Josh Smith, you're gone. See you, bro. I didn't call you stupid. I said your comment was stupid. And it was stupid, but this is Morning Scone. And you don't curse on Morning Scone, bro. Like that's immediately how you get banned from here. So we'll see you later. See you. Greg Daigle, receivers need to catch the ball also. It's not totally on Daniels, yes. Henry Gordon Bennett, give LSU strength. The conditioning coach will raise the Tigers. Or second half games is obvious. Hey, Dad, good morning. Can the Saints turn the season around and make a run? Can they, Earl? Sure. Will they? I don't think so. I mean, the schedule's only going to get tougher. They just have too many. They're just not a good football team, man. They're undisciplined. They turn the ball over. They commit to. I mean, you lead the NFL in turnovers and penalties. That's just not a good recipe. Let's see. Rick Kelly, how to fix the passing game? I don't know. Maybe we should have thought about Miles Brennan. Numerous reports during camp said Daniel's short passing game was weak. Rick, I'm going to tell you this, man. Do you realize how many times Jaden Daniels has been sacked, pressured, blitzed? Miles Brennan would be dead right now. Like, it's a huge part of why Jaden Daniels is your quarterback. Because you knew with your offensive line being what it was, you were going to have a quarterback that could elude the rush and make plays with his feet. Miles Brennan is a statue. That's one. 2, and you are overvaluing Miles Brennan's ability to throw the football. I know everybody just defaults to the yardage he threw for in those first 3 games of 2020, which you forget is how much people complained about his indecision because he did hold the ball too long. And LSU's defense was atrocious, so LSU was throwing 40-plus times a game. So a lot of that was volume. So no, I don't think Miles Brennan would have been the answer. I don't think that would have made this offense go. Let's see, does John Emery have another year of eligibility? Yes, he does. Everybody has the COVID year. Daniel Sinets, Brian Arsenault, good morning. Sandy Singleton, good morning. Thank you, Sandy. Thad Landry, good morning. Randy Smith, it's becoming clear now why Daniel's stats at ASU sunk each year. 4 years playing Power 5, he can't process. Yeah, that's not it, Randy. Again, that's Jesus, that's a long comment. I'm not reading all of it. Like you saw what happened at Arizona State, right? I mean, the internal issues there were incredible. Their best players left. Their coach got fired. There was chaos internally. You had coaches giving out game plans to other coaches at other schools to sabotage Herm Edwards. I mean, it was a disaster there. But, I mean, the first year he was there, he was throwing to Brandon Ayuk, who became a first rounder. He's got Kayshon Boutte, so maybe the 10 interceptions a year ago made him a little gun shy. I think that's plausible for sure. Richard Tilley Sr., good morning. Julio Mendez, good morning. Anthony Mitchell, JD has some processing issues. Would love more innovation in the play calling for Besh and Booty's sake. I'd agree with that. I mean, force them both to football. But I think they're finding ways to get Besh involved. That's why he's returning kicks and punts, getting the ball in his hands more. But who do you take off the field? You want to take Malik Neighbors off the field? I mean, I don't. You want to take Kayshawn off the field? I don't. I just think when guys are on the field, they got to make the most of their opportunity, whatever day, on whatever given day. I mean, Saturday was just nobody's day in the passing game. But by the way, LSU still won at Auburn. It's crazy. Like this is where we are. It's like LSU comes from down 17. They win a road game at Auburn, and we're finding all the negative. But I get it, man. Like if you don't improve your passing game, you're not going to beat good teams. Brad David, I know it does not win games, but Kelly is really good at public speaking at press conference. He speaks much better than Ed or Les. He's definitely more stately, right? I mean, he's more presidential, more CEO like. And he has I think Leah Van wrote a piece about this. I mean, he's got a political background. So, oh no, it wasn't. It was I'm sorry, it was Cokie Riley with the Advertiser who wrote it. Eric Bertrand, good morning. Let's see a couple more. William Laws. I've gone from watching to see who Peyton signed with so we could get the picks to saying, forget about the picks, give me my coach back because Allen isn't it. I agree. I mean, as far as your skepticism of Dennis Allen at this point, it's fair. And by the way, Dennis Allen's defense continued to play exceptionally well. I mean, the Saints' defense has kept them in games. But I think you got to face the reality, too, that they're not. I mean, as a whole, they're an undisciplined bunch, and they're not very good offensively. Whoa. Hold on. Wolfpack said, for some reason, Nuss, who has very little experience, can't improve, but the fourth-year starter will. Jaden Daniels is going backwards. Okay, no. First of all, get the earwax out, because I have said every single time. Go back to yesterday's show. I have said every single time we have ever talked about Garrett Nussmeier, I've said this exact thing. So check yourself. I have said, I'm not saying Garrett Nussmeier won't be great, can't be great. I think he has a skill set to be a very good college quarterback. I've said that a bajillion times. What I've also said is his decision-making right now is very bad, and it will cost you games because he does not protect the football. I would rather go to Auburn, win the turnover battle 4-1, and win 21-17 than go to Auburn, throw for maybe 230 yards, commit 4 turnovers, and lose the game 31-17. So pick your poison at this point. He's going to get his shot. But right now, as I've said all season, Jaden Daniels is the perfect bridge. He's the perfect bridge to get you more experience for these guys, let them grow up, let them mature, let them sit and watch more, and you can win games along the way. Never said Nussmeier can't improve. I said the exact opposite of that. But you're at a point where you're already winning games, and as you see Jaden get more comfortable in this offense, I mean, look, I've referenced this as well. Go back and look at Joe Burrow in 2018. Joe Burrow went the entire month of October without throwing a touchdown pass in 2018. But he made you stable. And then in November, he really started to sprint. Look at Zach Mettenberger in 2012. Same thing. LSU's passing game stunk for the first two months of the season. And then in 2012, Mettenberger hit his stride, carried it into 2013, and was awesome. So check yourself with that nonsense, bro. All right, I got to go. It's 8 o'clock. Got to get Drew up. Got to get him out of here. All right, y'all have an awesome day. Thanks so much for watching. Let's see. LSU Daily's already live, so check that out if you haven't yet. AFR at 3, and going to record the Sports Takeover at Channel 2 today. So WBRZ Plus, 6:30, Michael Cobble, Shay Dixon, and I will be doing that show. So look forward to seeing y'all then. All right, y'all have a great day. We'll see you for AFR 3. Peace.